All I need is you, baby, baby.
And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 because this is the largest SUV from Mercedes. You do get more power for 2024. You get a revised exterior and some interior upgrades then as well. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so when it comes to pricing for the GLS 450, MSRP will start at $87,000, which by the way is a $5,200 bump from the 2023 model year in case you were curious. But when it comes to the power plant, powering the beast is a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 375 horsepower at 5,500 RPM, which by the way is a 13 horsepower bump from the 2023 model year. 369 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,600 RPM. That power being sent to all 4 wheels through the Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC 4-wheel drive system. Power sent to the ground through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which you guys know we will test out here in a little bit. 0 to 60 time approximately 5.8 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 19 in the city, 24 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun paddle shifter or acceleration test here in the GLS, wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. It's labeled dynamic. It's just to the left of this touchpad controller. You just simply push it up and down, but drive modes will include eco, comfort, sport, off-road, and individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, all-wheel drive system engagement, and the suspension settings then as well. So now that we got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find it straight away. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test, and we'll see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us, but let's also see how quickly we can get the GLS 450 here up to speed. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, that was back. Holy cow. Dang, that initial punch is ridiculous in the GLS 450, which you wouldn't expect because this is a large 3-row SUV. That was nuts. I think it's because of the mild hybrid system. It's just instant power sent to the ground. So I don't know if that extra 13 horsepower was what did it, or the mild hybrid system, whatever the case. That is a very instant punch, and I absolutely love that acceleration. Paddle shifters were okay, not the very quickest I've ever tested, but they're not slow either. So they're also good for doing things like driving in the snow back when we had snow a few days ago. Rather than actually hitting the brakes when you're going down a hill and risk sliding off the road, you can simply just do a little bit of downshifting using the paddle shifters, so you're less likely to actually slide off the road. So they're good for that too, but I will say that acceleration, that's what really impressed me there. Now, the 0 to 60 number, that's impressive, but it feels a lot quicker just because of that initial punch, thanks to that mild hybrid system. That was a brilliant acceleration for a large 3-row SUV like the GLS 450. But to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 14.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13.6-inch ventilated rear discs. As far as that 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at a very impressive 113 feet. That's a sports sedan number, you guys know that. So as far as braking feel goes, it's fine. It's actually a little bit more on the softer side of things, which you would expect from a luxury SUV, but 60, 0, and 113 feet. Usually with 3-row SUVs, you find the 130s, if not the upper 120s. I've seen as bad as 139, so 113 feet, that is a sports sedan number, so that is a brilliant number when it comes to the braking. It's instantly going to bring you to a stop, no doubt. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, but you also get an adaptive damping suspension, which monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it's also good to tighten up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So it really does give you the best of both worlds. So always love that suspension component, and you also do get a self-leveling air suspension coming standard as well, which is going to adjust dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in, but it's also manually adjustable through this little toggle switch located directly behind the touchpad controller controller here, so you can manually adjust it if you want. But so if I were to put it in sport driving mode, it's going to lower that suspension, giving you better aerodynamics. Obviously, if I put it in off-road driving mode, it's going to raise that suspension. So things like that, basically. So that's very useful as well. Overall, as far as ride quality goes, it is probably the smoothest three-row SUV available right now, no doubt. So definitely a very smooth ride there. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in comfort driving mode, but yeah, absolutely no issues when it comes to ride quality. As far as steering feel goes, I kind of like it. It's weighted a little more on the heavier side of things. Not too heavy, of course, because it's a three-row SUV, but I really like the steering feel of this thing as well. And the 10-2 grips are kind of on the larger side of things too, which you guys know I appreciate if you watch my videos. I do like the bigger grips because it gives me a better feeling of being in control of the car, so I like that as well. As far as cabin noise goes, I got the heat on pretty good right now because it is freezing outside, so you get a little bit of that. But other than that, this is an extremely serene cabin here in the GLS. And if you wanted the very most serene cabin, there is an acoustic comfort package that goes for $1,100 that gives you laminated front windshield and side glass as well. So that's going to be available for you there. As far as visibility goes, looking at my rear view mirror right here, I got one headrest up and one down, so you can push them down completely. If you were to do that, perfect visibility. But that other headrest, they are beefy as stink. So if you don't have any third row passengers, just go ahead and push them down. Visibility is going to be completely fine with that. And rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard, so whenever the GLX detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers there, so that's going to assist with forward visibility. And there is a head-up display available for an additional $1,100. We do not have it with us here today. We don't have that option, but that's going to project your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield, again, assisting with forward visibility. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 finished in black. Yes, that is the creative name that Mercedes-Benz came up with for the exterior color. But again, this thing has been refreshed for 2024. You got an updated front grille, also a slightly revised front bumper as well. We actually do have an AMG line package with us here today, so it's going to give you a little more aggressive styling up front and really all the way around actually as well. So keep that in mind. This is going to look a little different than some of the other GLSs because of the AMG line package. But let's go ahead and start with where the GLS is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 4, indicating that the new GLS is built and assembled here in the US, of course, with plenty of the parts coming from Germany still. But let's go ahead and start up front. That 4-slat front grille is now going to be standard for the 2024 GLS. It used to be like a dual bar front grille actually up front, if I remember correctly. And by the way, since I mentioned it, the AMG line package does go for $3,250, in case you were curious about that. We do have a chrome front lip that comes standard either way. Actually, full LED headlights do come standard to the sides, meaning both low beam and high beam. You get LED daytime running lights, of course. Get the automatic feature along with automatic high beams as well. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So definitely a very convenient feature there. And then to the bottom corners there, you guys will see you do have some front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination for a little better aerodynamics there. But that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let me know what you guys think of the reworked design in the comments below, but let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the GLS, raised aluminum roof rails do come standard. Satin chrome window surrounds also coming standard. Rear privacy glass, of course. You can find some chrome trim on those door handles as well to tie together with the window surrounds. Soft closed doors, if you're curious, they go for $550. We actually do have that option, so might as well come up a little closer here and show that to you guys. So essentially, if you have your door open, you shut it, doesn't close it all the way, it's going to automatically shut it for you. Hopefully you guys saw that, but that's a pretty cool feature because sometimes you don't always close your doors all the way, so you need a feature that kind of just sucks it back in, kind of like the GLS just did. So I like it. But body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals. They are power folding, of course, as well. If you wanted the running boards, they are illuminated running boards. They go for $650. We do have that option. They don't come standard though. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 20-inch alloys do come standard, but then there are 21, 22, and 23-inch designs available. And of course, with the AMG line, you do get AMG specific alloys like you guys are looking at right now. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back, first thing I want to mention is usually up top you have some kind of an antenna, shark fin antenna, something, but with Mercedes-Benz lately, they have been doing away with that for a much cleaner look, my personal opinion. So you got nothing up there. I like it. Rear spoiler with an integrated brake light does come standard. There is an optional roof spoiler that goes for $685. I feel like I had that last year, but much more aggressive look with the roof spoiler. Rear window wiper, of course, does come standard. You got the 4MATIC badging for the 4-wheel drive system. Reworked taillights for sure. That is definitely not the same taillights as last year, I can tell you guys that. And they are LED, of course, so I do like the look of that. You do have some added chrome trim at the bottom portion of that rear bumper, but my very favorite part about the back end is this is something Mercedes has done for a while, and I still love that they still do it. Integrated dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips, so they integrate the exhaust into the rear bumper. I love that look, but nonetheless, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the GLS, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a hands-free power tailgate that does come standard, so that is definitely nice if you have your hands full of groceries or whatever the case. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 17.4 cubic feet behind that third row. Of course, that third row does fold down. There actually are buttons in the cargo area itself to fold those seats down, but behind that second row, cargo capacity bumps up to 42.7 cubic feet, and with all rows folded, 84.7 cubic feet. So that's definitely a good bit. You do have some cargo lighting back there, of course, though. There are chrome plated tie-down anchors. There is a cargo cover. There's a little bit of side net storage back there. There's a grocery bag hook, a 12-volt power outlet. If you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, but my favorite part was the button in the cargo area to actually lower the suspension by up to 2 inches. So if you're loading a bunch of stuff back there, that's going to definitely assist to make that loading a little bit easier for you. So that was actually a clever little feature. Since you have the air suspension, I guess that makes sense. That's pretty cool. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that comes in at 34.6 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There are some cup holders for the third row passengers as well. Rear ventilation does come standard. That's going to kind of be found on the roof of this thing, and you actually do get dual phone charging ports for the third row passengers, so that was pretty cool to find. But then make our way up to the second row legroom, coming in at 41.9 inches. That's substantial. For reference, again, I am still an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. So bench seating does come standard, but captain's chairs are a free option, so they can be spec'd either way for no added charge either way. So that is pretty cool. We got the captain's chairs, of course. Heated second row going for $580 if you wanted that. Power second row side window sunshades, that goes for $580, an option we do not have with us here today. Now, next thing I want to mention, 4-zone climate control does come standard on the GLS 450. So the 2 middle passengers in that second row have full control of their temperatures, but there is an optional package for 5-zone climate control that goes for $400, and that's for the third row passengers. They can actually set their own individual temperatures for the third row as well if you wanted to. But anyways, phone charging ports coming standard for the second row, and you do get a 115-volt power outlet then as well. But then make your way up to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats, of course, do come standard. You will find memory settings for 3 different drivers and 3 different passengers. So yes, memory settings are on the passenger side as well. That doesn't always come standard that way, but MB-Tex upholstery coming standard. Leather seating going for $1,620. Napa leather for $2,990. Heated front seats coming standard. Ventilated front seats coming standard. As far as seat comfort goes, honestly, it was perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today, so definitely didn't have any issues there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the steering wheel, because like I mentioned, the 10-2 grips are a little bit thicker than I remember, and there is a new design for the 2024 steering wheel in the GLS. So it is tilt and telescoping, it is power adjustable, it is leather wrapped. There is a wood leather combination going for $600. You can get a heated steering wheel for $250, but again, my favorite part is the 10-2 grips are so much thicker than it was in the previous year. So I definitely like the design to that. But then making our way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got all of your buttons are located on one side of the key, basically lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here, simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so Once started up, 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster does come standard, and this thing is pretty darn cool. You really have so many different looks you can use up there. You can choose to display an understated gauge cluster, a sport gauge cluster, classic gauge cluster. There's a full navigation setup, which is what I actually left it on because I didn't even change it during my drive there, but off-road setup as well. That is pretty cool. I probably should put it on there since I'm on the gravel and rocks and all that right now, so that would be a cool setting. But overall, the gauge clusters are very customizable, and of course the gauges have pretty much everything you could possibly want up there. There's your outside temperature, there's a digital speedometer, of course how many miles you have left until you hit empty. The list goes on. You could pretty much put whatever the heck you want up there. So very nice gauge cluster for the GLS 450. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality here. Panoramic glass roof does come standard. New interior schemes for 2024. I wanted to mention that. You guys can configure that on the Mercedes website if you wanted to. So a couple different looks there. For example, you got 5 different interior trims available. You could choose to have aluminum trims, or there's a bunch of different wood trim options. We've got one of those wood trims, and that definitely looks good. But HomeLink controls do come standard. That's for up to 3 different garage doors, of course. You get 64 colors of ambient lighting in typical Mercedes fashion, and the ambient lighting is so bright in the GLS, so Mercedes definitely did a very good job with that. Heated and cooled front cup holders go for $180 if you wanted that option. There is a wireless phone charger that comes standard as well. I've had my phone charging the whole little test drive here today, so that's definitely nice as well. Just behind that wireless phone charger, that's where the cup holders are located. I like these little grab bars in between the driver and passenger. That's pretty cool. Just behind all of that, within the center armrest, there's a decent amount of storage actually in there. You do have a phone charging port in there as well, but overall, interior quality is definitely 100% on point. One of the other cool things about the interior lighting is it kind of fades off and on. So when I turn it on here, it's gonna slowly fade on. And then when I press the button again, it's gonna slowly fade off. So it's another cool little thing Mercedes-Benz does with their interior lighting. But again, perfectly fine when it comes to interior quality. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen here. 12.3-inch color touchscreen display. Of course, it is touchscreen, but there is touchpad controller and buttons located just behind the cup holders there. And you can also say things like, "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?"
Turn on the radio, and it'll listen to you. But anyways, Bluetooth and audio streaming does come standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You got a factory navigation system coming standard, of course. You can check out your ambient lighting settings up there. You can check out your climate control settings up there. There's some off-road statistics, which is pretty darn cool as well. And of course, you can check out your radio information up there. So when it comes to the sound system, there is one of them. You get a 13-speaker Burmester sound system, 590 watts, dual subwoofers. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That's banging, man. That sounds like the sound system that belongs in a GLS. That is an incredible sound system. So I absolutely love that. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So Mercedes, 100%. Burmester, 100%. And the cool thing is you get aluminum speaker covers as well, which is also 100%. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the GLS in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. It's extremely high definition as well. You also get that panoramic view monitor to the left, giving you that bird's eye view, letting you know what is completely all around you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so front side current airbags do come standard. You get a driver's knee airbag as well. Second row side impact airbags, that goes for $700 if you wanted that option. Also in the back though, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, active brake assist, emergency call service, attention assist, crosswind assist, side blind zone alert, Parktronic with active parking assist, auto dimming rearview mirror, and an auto dimming driver's side mirror then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the GLS 450, excellent ride quality. I've said this in plenty of my reviews at this point. When you have two things, that's going to give you the very best ride quality possible of any vehicle out there. That's going to be an adaptive damping suspension and an air suspension. When you combine those two, you're not going to get any better ride quality than that. It's not possible at this point. So very serene cabin as well. If I didn't have the heat blasting so much, you guys probably would have heard absolutely nothing on the drive there. Excellent interior quality. I love the wood finishes, the aluminum speaker covers, the ambient lighting. You can't really beat all of that. brilliant Burmester sound system in this thing. I'm telling you guys, you gotta listen to it for yourself. It's absolutely amazing. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown on social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts that we put on our channel as well. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.
Love.